Tyson Fury is coming back, and it can only be for one man and one man only. Surely that's Anthony Joshua.
Give me stick for it. I've personally never believed that this man wants Anthony Joshua. I've never seen any intentions to fight Anthony Joshua.
Toney said to me, I think it was the end of the first round or after the fight, he said, what the fuck was you doing that for, John? We didn't do anything we was doing in the changing room, what we've been doing for the last 10 weeks.
They are the most shady, corrupt, do what they want organisation.
They are a business, and that's how they make their money.
I said, you shithouse. Because I seen him trying to spit it out before that. So I knew it was coming. And then when he did, obviously, it's an age-old trick. So, you know, and I knew I had him then.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the First Round show. As ever, I'm joined by the cereal-eating, melted, Gary Neville-looking Sonny K. You all right, mate?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good.
For that intro.
Good. I'm laughing, right, because I watched the film. I watched Men in Black 2 the other day, and I see a ringer for you. Can I show you?
Yeah. If it's a film about aliens, I've got high hopes. It's quite good to be fair.
All good?
Yeah, I'm all good. I mean, like I said it last week, the comments have been overwhelming, and the producers have asked us to read out a few more because they have been so nice.
Words, everyone.
So this was a nice one. Who is this fat bloke talking about boxing? The Polkster has never been in the ring. I don't know if he's talking about me or you there, but anyway. The next one, Barker is a hard listen. Thick as mince. Yes, that is spot on, that one. I have to unsub now. This collab bullshit keeps appearing in my feed. It's not what I subscribe for.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry.
And then one more. It's about you again, yeah. But you did dig me out first. So Barker's getting worse. He's worse than Bellew now. Give it a rest.
Well, thanks for your kind words. Much
Keep them
appreciated.
coming in, yeah.
Sonny, so much to talk about. Lots of hot topics as ever. I think we'll start with the obvious one. Tyson Fury teasing a 2026 comeback.
Unbelievable. I'm shocked. I am physically shocked.
Me.
Yeah, really big time. No, it was always coming. Look, he was filming his Netflix drama or documentary, whatever, and here it is on the screen now. He's filming his Netflix thingy, and that's why he was retired, because he had his duties to do what he had to do for Netflix. That's obviously all come to a close now, and he's coming back into boxing.
So Tyson Fury posted, "The king must return to his throne. There is a long and lonely road that only I can walk on. But after the long and hard battles awaits immortality. God's fighting one-man army. The battle was won over 2,000 years ago by a man who goes by the name of Yeshua, which is Jesus. In the holy name, I march forward." So Tyson Fury is coming back, and it can only be for one man and one man only. Surely that's Anthony Joshua.
Well, no, he wants to return to his throne. So he wants to become a world champion again. But he ain't. How's he going to get the Usyk fight? Usyk wants Wilder. And then surely he's got to fight whoever Fabio Wardley fights next between them two. So, no, I'll put that. Give me stick for it. I've personally never believed that this man wants Anthony Joshua. I've never seen any intentions to fight Anthony Joshua. Have you?
Who do you think wins that fight? First off, if they do fight, let's say summer, autumn next year, who do you think wins?
I've always felt Anthony Joshua could get to him because don't get me wrong. I know Fury's very elusive. He's a great boxer, but at the end of the day, he's been down from Steve Cunningham. He's been down from Usyk. He went down from Ngannou. So I just feel like Anthony Joshua hits. He does get up, and he went down from Wilder. I like all them. Wilder hits hard, but all the others, they don't actually hit that hard. And I think Anthony Joshua's got the equaliser to eventually get to him. But yes, I'm under no illusions that Fury could get there first. But I've always just felt Anthony Joshua would knock him out. I do. Yeah. What do you think?
Do you think he would rather a trilogy with Usyk or an AJ fight? I know you mentioned
Usyk. Yeah,
he'd rather get straight back in there.
Yeah, I don't believe he wants Anthony Joshua. I'm sorry, like I just don't. Right? Yeah, because we had years back, after he come back and he fought Wilder and he beat him the second time, it was all going to be going on then. But we had a bit of, this arbitration come in. Bob Arum, the lawyer, didn't see the arbitration coming. Yeah, all right, no problem. And then a couple of years later, he offered Anthony Joshua out after he lost to Usyk. And then he gave all these deadlines and whatnot. And then he went and fought Chisora. And then Fury, after he lost to Usyk the second time, Anthony Joshua's there at the Ring Magazine Awards with a great big bow on him saying, I want Fury, give me Fury next. And Fury comes out and retires. So tell me who don't want that fight. Sorry. I've got nothing, yeah. And look, maybe Eddie and AJ behind the scenes, maybe they didn't want it, but I've seen more intentions from them than I have from Fury.
Would you be surprised if that fight happens then?
Yeah, mega
Really?
surprised. Yeah.
You would be really surprised?
I don't believe it happens. I really don't. Still, but I'm happy to be proved wrong. I fucking want to watch it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Yeah. Do you believe it happens next year?
I do. I think the money that's out there now, the public demand for it, though it's not what it was a few years ago, I think people are still, desperate that the fight happens. It sells out Wembley Stadium twice over.
But let me give you a scenario. So Fury ain't going to come back and go straight into the Usyk fight, which is what he wants. He wants Usyk, right? He ain't going to come back and do that because he's going to need someone beforehand, right? Don't know who that's going to be. I'm racking my brain. Who is he going to fight beforehand? Because he ain't going to come back and fight like a Okolie.
Caballero.
He ain't going to fight Caballero. He's going to go either a very long way down the list or he's going to fight a social media influencer like a Jake Paul, I think. I really do believe that. But then after that, I assume he'll want the Usyk fight or something like that. But Usyk's going to be tied up. I can't see as they're going to let Usyk just go elsewhere and fight Fury when you're going to have Caballero knocking on the door, Wardley potentially. I know he's the money man, Fury. I know that, but come on, you can't overlook Caballero, Wardley. It could even be Parker again. You know what I mean? Parker and Wardley could fight again potentially, and then it could be one of them in line for Usyk. So when does Fury get this Usyk fight?
Yeah, or does he wait for Usyk to sort of hang up the gloves, get back next year, the titles fragment, and then he picks up one or two fighting someone else?
So then again,
so say we don't know how long Usyk's going to hang around for.
Yeah.
So he makes a return to the ring. At which point Usyk does what he's got to do, has his last fight, which we'll get on into in a minute, and then retires. Let's say, I'm just painting a picture here. The titles fragment, and that's an opportunity for Fury to pick up the titles without having to face Usyk again.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The man's a riddle, isn't he? The man is just a riddle at the end of the day. But look, all he's got in his mind is Usyk. And personally, I don't see Usyk losing any more belts anytime soon. So he will have to fight Usyk. But I'm just thinking, come on, it's not fair anymore. Especially, who wants to see a third fight? I don't. Who cares about a third fight? Do you want to see a third fight?
No,
I've lost both times.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua didn't get a third fight. Why does Fury?
I think if you're Usyk, why go back there?
Yeah, well, money.
Yes, he's got bundles. I mean, that chapter, in my opinion, for both, although Fury would like to get revenge, it's closed.
I suppose more importantly, do you want to see Usyk versus Wilder?
No.
No.
No, no. But I can understand, right, why Usyk would want to go into a fight with Wilder, because he's done them all now, hasn't he? Bar Wilder. Wilder was that big name. We know that Wilder's not the fighter he was, but he's still that name that isn't on the record of Usyk. So he'll be thinking, let's get that.
What'd you get out of that, though?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Or as you say, more money. Maybe as time progresses, people will look back at the record of Usyk and see the names that are on there. I'm talking in like 20, 30 years' time, because everyone knows now that Wilder's passed it. But in years to come, people will look at that record and say, wow, he beat them all.
Yeah, I see Paul Smith say something like that. Big up Paul Smith. And yeah, you're right. People will look back, but we'll also look back and know that Wilder was a long way past it. I mean, to be honest, in the future, when we look back, we'll see Wilder's record for the last 3 or 4 fights, and it's like, well, you're gone, aren't you? You know what I mean? With all due respect, he was a very good fighter, but with all due respect, in the past few years, he's not on the level of any of these top 10s, nowhere near.
Ayahuasca.
So, ayahuasca, yeah. But, Darren, his record, like I've always said this myself, Wilder's record was as padded as the fucking Michelin Man. Like all the way up until his 40th
I thought you were going to say as you.
Yeah. All the way up until Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, good fighter, beat him fine, but then come unstuck against Fury and then come unstuck against Parker and Zhang. So he was the most dangerous man in the world, but he was also technically very inferior to
It's mad
most
as
of
well. And to think he is an Olympic medalist. So
Yeah, I know,
you
yeah.
think with that pedigree,
Yeah. I know.
you know how to technically be sound. But maybe he just had something that worked for him and he detonated flipping
But you're right.
ridiculous power, didn't he? Well, let's see what plays out with Usyk and Wilder and AJ situations.
So, the sexiest fight, or one of the sexiest fights in boxing, has been made. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Shakur going for his 4th weight world championship. Teo's belt on the line.
Yeah.
How excited are you?
I like the fight. I do. I like it. He's a tough man to beat, Secure. We've seen that, haven't we? But this is another step now. That with these really talented fighters, I mean, loads. We've seen it with Canelo stepping up and getting beat by Bivol. Inoue, would he get beat if he stepped too far up to face someone like Bam? The list goes on. I mean, there's loads and loads and loads. At some point, he's going to move too far up into a division that is just too big for him. And Teo, we've seen how good he is and how strong he is. He's found some real form lately. But I like it. I think it's a big fight in the US. I'm not too sure, what buzz it will create here. But there's people in and around, the weights here that will be looking at that fight. I see a quote from James Toney, actually, the great James Toney. One of my favourite fighters, James Toney, defensively incredible. He said, another great fight. Teo's too big for him. Both fighters have extraordinary skills. It's going to be a great fight as long as it lasts. I see Teo stopping him late if it happens. If not, Shakur runs around the ring for 12 rounds and it's a boring ass fight.
He's harsh, James Toney, these days. He called Usyk boring, I think. And he said, Anthony Joshua, people will agree with this one. Some people, he said, Anthony Joshua, you don't fight anyone. Fight someone with a pulse. So he's harsh, but fair, I suppose. It's a very good fight. The problem is for me, I just never seen Shakur put a foot wrong, really. And I don't see, and Teo's been a bit inactive, so I just hold Shakur a massive favourite. I really do, even though he's going up.
And like you say, it's just everything's in second gear.
Yeah.
You just feel like there's levels and levels to come. And
it's better as well lately.
Yeah, I think
good
so.
against Padley.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, Jan 31st, another big show that night. Josh Kelly fights Backram, so it's busy weekend. But we'll see how that one plays out. Someone we've been speaking about quite a lot recently, Chris Eubank Jr. posted an odd video, of him in hospital, and I've not actually seen it. So can we get it up? Right, this is him in hospital. What is actually going on here, Sonny?
Well, I assume it's a camera down the throat jobby, and I've heard rumbles from people in the media that have said, medical condition, alluding to something potentially wrong with his stomach, I think. So look, at the end of the day, he's put that video up to say, this is the reason that I lost. He wants sympathy from it. He's trying to get the public on his... It's a difficult one to talk about, really, because, he's obviously in distress there, but also it's a tricky one because you're saying, on one hand, I'm not going to give any excuses, and then all we've seen recently is what people could consider to be excuses. So that's horrible. I won't lie, I've had that done. It's minging. Like, you wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's fucking minging. It really is. But a load of fighters in the past have had serious problems and they fought and they haven't mentioned it after. I don't know. It's a real tricky one. It's like David Haye. We all knew what happened to David Haye, but he never ever mentioned it. He did mention his fucking toe in the Klitschko fight, but put that one to one side. I don't know where to go with this one. It's a tricky one, really.
Well, if there are real concerns, what is he, 36 now? Made bundles of money. I think that's probably curtains. Like what?
It's not.
He's having twins. I know you're adamant he fights again, didn't you? And I think many more are. But okay, whether I think he does or not is probably another question. But should he? In my opinion, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. He's too small for super middleweight. Obviously struggling with middle.
That's the thing, isn't it? When he comes back, he has got to go at super middle. He's got to. Because we've had all this stuff raining down, like all this, his dad's there going, against the rules, blah, blah, blah. He's putting up all these social media posts about how difficult it is to get the weight. So when you do come back, if you don't go to super middle, all that was bollocks. It was. No, it was though, wasn't
Imagine he goes and challenges for the IBF title where you got to make the rehydration clause anyway, or the second day weight.
Yeah.
You couldn't, like you say, you can't do that, can you? Or it's a load of rubbish. To be honest, though, with this condition, I think this is why you have a team around you to advise you.
Oh, yeah.
Look, a lot of questions for me have got to surround the team of Eubank Jr. If they allowed him to go into that fight and he is in a bad nick.
Yeah. My big question is to his dad. His dad in the first build-up was going, "You're a disgrace, and everyone is a disgrace. This fight, I won't let it happen, blah, blah, blah." And then he turned up on the night in a great big coat and went, "Hello, everyone." This time, that's even more of a concern for the fight to not go ahead.
Yeah.
That's even worse. So now you've got what he considers the weight to be a problem and this medical condition, and yet his dad didn't mention it. Not a word. Like I said a couple of things on TalkSport, it's against the rules, but I would have thought the dad there, senior, would have gone, "Stop this now." Stop.
In his big coat.
Yeah, in his big coat, gone into the hospital in his big coat. Just stop this. The fight's not going on. Eddie, Ben, fuck off. See what I mean? That's terrible. But it all went ahead. I mean, we don't know if that was before or after, but still, either way, it was lingering beforehand. So why did they let the fight go ahead?
Does Chris Eubank Jr. fight again? Let us know.
Bud. King Bud, Terence Crawford. He's got the ump with Maurizio Salami. And he's put out a video the other day. Everyone's seen it by now, but Dazza, this one's for you. Let's have a look.
Mauricio, got a lot to say about me not paying him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees. Then he gonna tell me I ain't even apologize? Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self. Ain't paying your ass shit. Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any other sanction body? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. The WBC think that you better than everybody. And you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit. You want me to pay you more than the other sanction bodies because you feel like you better than them. You can take the fucking belt. The fuck am I paying you every time I step foot in the fucking ring? I'm the motherfucker that's putting my life on the line, not you.
Fair play. Look, at the end of the day, everyone as a youngster, when they start out being a fighter, wants to win a world title. Whether it's a WBC, IBF, WBA, they want to win a world title. These world titles, these governing bodies, make money from sanctioning fees, obviously. But the belts are nothing without the fighters.
Yeah.
The likes of Bud Crawford put bums on seats. They inspire youngsters to fight. Not so much the belts. Do you know what I mean? You first grow up understanding the fighter, what they've done to win the belts, how great they are as athletes, and what they do, as he said, putting their body, their life on the line. So fair play to him.
When you've had to pay sanction fees in the past,
Yes.
didn't you? Did you think, fucking liberty?
Yeah, I did.
Do you ever think of not paying them? Or you wouldn't have got them?
No, because I wasn't he's an absolute great who's won world titles for fun. He's probably got them everywhere in his house. I've only got the one. So I was just desperate. So you suffer it and pay it. But, I am aware that they are a business and that's how they make their money. But stripping a great like Terence Crawford, who would have paid in his time as being a world champion through the weights and through the years, would have been, I can only imagine how much he's given the WBC. And he's had enough. He's had enough. He doesn't care anymore. His name, his legacy is way greater than the WBC.
He's right though. Why is their belt more money? For what reason? For what reason? They're actually the worst organisation. I know they're steeped in history, and people go boxing. They go WBC belt. That's the glitzy and glamoury one. But they are the most shady, corrupt, do what they want organisation, and they're the ones paying that you have to pay the most money to. Him taking the moral high ground with this and stripping Bud is just, I've got no words. Yeah. I have got words actually. So he's got the moral high ground to go and strip someone and say this is wrong what he's doing. Look, I know that you got to pay your fees to get the belt, but why are they costing more? Why are they charging more than all the other ones? And as Bud said, everyone else accepted what he gave them. They didn't accept it. They wanted more. So he says, fuck off. But how can they do that when all the stuff that they've got going on, I mean, you go back miles, like Oscar Valdez, they let Oscar Valdez fight after he fought a drug test. After he failed a drug test, they put that fight on. Subriel Matias, Dalton Smith, that's going on now. There was a little, they're saying WBC have passed him to fight, right? This is Subriel Matias, a guy who's unfortunately killed a man in the ring. They passed him to fight, and they've said it's due to contamination, right? What if, in a mental world, it wasn't contamination? Is there not a slight chance that weren't contamination? Would you not be better off looking into that and stopping that fight going ahead just for the minute and going, look, we need to make sure that this guy hasn't been cheating? All you've done is look at your paperwork and go, oh, you reckon not contamination? Okay, no worries. Just like they did with Conor Benn. Conor Benn put in his evidence and they went, eggs. Oh, he's been eating 12,000 eggs a day. He just makes it up as he goes along. And Conor Benn said, no, I didn't mean eggs. I'm like, that weren't the reason. So him taking the moral high ground of anything is...
What was the one recently? Was it the weekend where the fight was slated for the WBC? Foster. Foster.
And Steve Fulton.
Yeah, Stephen Fulton for the WBC super featherweight title. Fulton didn't make the weight, right?
Yeah, so they just it.
They just turned it into WBC interim lightweight world title.
I know, genius. Just so they didn't lose their money that was on the line from the sanctioning fees, basically. Like, get in the bin. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't know if I'm on this train of like bin the belts completely. I mean, I am a little bit, but I think the Ring magazine is pucker and it's free, as Terence said. Would you think boxing would be a better place without him?
I don't like. I see it as a fighter myself, and I'm honest enough to admit I'm never winning. I'm never being the sole middleweight champion of the world. Martinez already beat me. Golovkin would have beat me. So I had an opportunity to fight Daniel Gill, and I won a world title. If there was only one, I wouldn't have been able to fulfill my dream. But I'd have more money in my pocket.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But it's a tricky one. But just out of curiosity, let us know what your favourite world title is. What belt you'd like to own.
Or if you want to fuck them completely off.
Or if you want to F them off.
Yeah.
Back to the heavyweight division, Sonny. A couple of topics. AJ has made his weight, or he's shown that he's got down to 245 or under 245.
Yeah.
The strict contract clause that was in there, he had to get under 245. Look into that at all? Anything to?
Nah, he's always been a solid athlete, Anthony Joshua. So I knew that weight making weight for him wasn't never going to be a problem. He was the same weight as Usyk too, wasn't he?
He's Usyk too, exactly that.
Yeah.
And, you know, performed better, didn't he, in that second fight?
Yeah. I don't know what to read into that, really. I don't know if it's put the shits up Jake Paul, because, as I say, I don't know if he's
now.
Yeah, I don't know if he's sitting at home though, going, "Oh, you've made weight. Well, the fight ain't fucking happening anyway." Do you know what I mean? So who knows? God knows.
As we sit here now, just over a week away, or no, it would be almost just under 2 weeks away from the fight. Does it happen?
I don't
You've
know.
been skeptical, and we're getting closer now. Does that fight happen? Give me a percentage.
Yeah, well.
Give me a percentage, yes or no.
Well, I'm getting egg on my face every single day, ain't I? As it gets closer, because there's been nothing to say that it's not happening. But I'm just, something stinks. Something stinks. It does. I don't know.
Egg.
Yeah, it might be that egg. I'm all right. I'm going down. I've gone down from 100% to 65% that it doesn't happen.
Also in the heavyweight division, we see Lawrence Okolie's giving Jake Paul a black eye.
Yeah, I know. Good. Well, good, because
Can we get that
should
out?
happen.
Can we see that? Because I haven't seen this yet.
I can't believe we're sitting here talking about AJ Jake Paul every week. What fucking world have
mad,
we come
isn't
to?
I'm sparring a bunch of world champion heavyweights. I think Lawrence Okolie did that to me. He's like 6'6", 270.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you weighing right now?
I'm like 215.
And you got to get to what weight to fight AJ?
218, 220.
What's AJ's weight? 220?
He'll be like 250 in the ring.
Huh? 250?
Yeah.
Jake, 250 pounds is going to fight at.
Yeah. It's definitely a pretty wild fight, my brother.
250.
Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Are you guys coming?
You know, honestly,
He's good at what
I mean,
he
that
does.
was more scripted than some of his fights. Like fucking, yeah. You say this, he's 250. Oh, what, bro? Huh?
Man, that's crazy.
That's crazy, man. They're not world champions, by the way, Jake. Like, none of them are heavyweight world champions. But anyway, Okolie should be doing that to him. We said that last week, didn't we? We said, like, surely they're going in there and they're performing as they should be performing. Okolie, Sanchez, and was it Jared Anderson?
Yeah.
And they should be battering him all about the place, which is why I still think it don't happen. But
Going up to 70%.
yeah, fuck it. And I'll go back to 100% bollocks.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening, in my opinion.
For the record, though, I really hope it does. I really want to watch it. You?
Yeah, like, I'll be in Ghana the same night as I've said this before, Craig Richards, Dan
Yeah.
Aziz, which I think is a brilliant fight, by the way. But I'm definitely going to tune in and watch it if it does happen, which I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah, who wins?
Well, here on the first round show, it's not just me and Sonny, the melted Gary Neville, chatting away. We're going to get guests on, and who better to have on than the Romford Bull himself, fresh off his victory in Monte Carlo. Johnny?
I'm good, Darren. How are you? All good? All back home and safe from Monte Carlo?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was an early start yesterday. I'm knackered. What time did you set off?
Set off our flight was at 1:45, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I wouldn't fancy getting on an early one after a late night like that.
Was it full of Romford bods on that plane?
Stingray was on there, the owner of the Blue Orchid, and Corporate Coal, Millwall was on there. Sorry, you don't know his name. Justin Blue, yeah, all of them, all bits and bobs of the Bull Army were over there. So it was a good memory. Even the flight back, it was good fun.
Proper firm, wasn't it? Right, let's jump straight into the fight.
Yeah,
You're just a nutcase, aren't you?
yeah. Toney said to me, I think it was the end of the first round or after the fight, he said, "What the fuck was you doing that for, John? We didn't do anything we was doing in the changing room, what we've been doing for the last 10 weeks. I just think probably coming back off of a loss, off of a stoppage loss, everything when I got in that ring and it was just like I was just gonna go across there and just bowl one in over the top of him. But it was a bit better than that. I was thinking he's a short-term replacement, but really he's 7-0 and he fought 3 weeks ago and he beat a couple of he's beat Thomas Salek and he had a bit of ambition and I thought I could just go in there and bowl him over, but that's the risk you pay. If I connect with him, I'll get him out there in 1 minute, but I didn't. But it did give the travelling supporters a bit of excitement, so no problem. Once I settled down, round 3, round 4, what me and Toney have been working on, the rolling, getting the double jab and moving side to side in the ring, it was all taking shape. But I gave everyone a bit of a scare in the first round, which is interesting.
Not
I remember
half.
I heard the commentary when I watched it back.
Do you think that was down to desperation, Johnny? Like, you just were so desperate to win?
Yeah, it's just, I just think no matter what I'd done in preparation, I just think that was always going to happen, something like that, where you lose your I lost my composure in that first round, which is not professional, really. It was unprofessional of me. But I just think, yeah, I have that natural instinct. But I think when I've been out for a little while, for 6 months or so, I don't have to try. I have to remember, I don't have to try and be aggressive because I naturally am aggressive. And when I try and be aggressive, it's when it's wild and it's uncontrolled. When I knocked Babbage out, I weren't trying to be aggressive. I was just going in there, relaxing, and natural aggression comes. So probably a bit of that as well, a bit of ring rust from them 6 months out. I know it's not a long time, but after a loss, it feels like a long time. And we're back in the winning column, which is the main thing, and that's the relief more than anything.
Yeah, it looked for me, Johnny. It looked like it was kind of nervous energy in a way. Like you did come in there, and there was loads of movement in the first round for you, which we haven't seen before. That looked new from the Tony Sims camp. But was it mostly nervous energy, the way the first round went?
It's got to be, Sonny. I think I got carried away in the moment, and I've been pretty good in my career not getting carried away in the moment because I think back to when I first started and all the people coming to watch me, and I've been pretty good at handling it. I didn't handle it as good as I could have that first round, and I paid the price and got clipped on the temple. And when you get clipped on the temple, it's not like a normal thudding knockout punch because your brain's still about, you still got your faculties all there, but your legs just take a little bit longer to recover because it's a temple shot that scrambles them. And good job I held on tight for that first round. Maybe in the past I wouldn't have tried to hold on. I probably would have tried to swing, but I had the presence of mind and the.
Was that Chisora?
Yeah, Chisora was going, Johnny, hold, and I heard Conor as well. And good job them two were there because it just made me switch into gear and realise, hang on, I've got to just weather this early storm. And once I settled down into it, round 3, round 4, 2, I was still getting myself back into gear a little bit. And rounds 3 and 4, I could sense that I was making some inroads there. But yeah, a nice little roller coaster, a 4-round roller coaster for people.
Just we've seen you fight people like Valdez, is that his name? Valdez? Before, and or people of that caliber, and you have got them out of there. You had no sort of worries in your first 10 fights, 12 fights. There was no, no chin checking or nothing like that. You did plow through the majority of them. Social media, boxing fans, and they are quite ruthless. A lot of them will kind of say on something like to the words to the effect of, you look like you're going backwards now. How would you answer that?
Well, backwards, if the geezer's 7-0, so you don't. I saw Toney talking about it. Tony Bellew. You don't actually know how good this guy is. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater, but he came with ambition, and it's the nature of the beast. I went in there going gung ho, and I was too gung ho. I was too wild, and you got every chance of being clipped. It just happens. Maybe perhaps when I fought Damiani, when I fought Musil, when I fought these guys who I don't think are as good as that guy. I must say they're a little bit lower than that guy with some defeats on their records, etc. But if you get clipped by one of them, you're still going to feel it. It just happens that I didn't get clipped at that point, and it was just a bit of madness, really. That first round, I just completely went off script. Everything. I was so sharp and explosive in the change room. I was so happy with how I was. I just thought, probably got too carried away and too eager, and thought I can just go over there and bowl him over. But you still have to settle up. You still have to set it up, Sonny, didn't you? You still have to put a jab into the body or jab it. I didn't throw a jab. I windmilled. I went Romford windmill.
Yeah, I will say though, mate, like you do provide an entertaining fight every time. But there's one thing that people overlook when they do throw in these comments is that your heart is second to none. Like you will not go over for nothing. So yeah, fair play to you for coming through that in the first round.
I'll tell you what, your old man gave you a bit of a bollocking, didn't he?
Oh, big time. He said, don't ever fucking do that again. I think he was feeling the pressure all week, and my mum was feeling the pressure all week because I remember speaking to Barry Hearn about this. Like, if I lose there in that fight, you've had 2 knockout losses. It could have been, or it could have been two stoppages, or just 2 defeats in general. It's a long, long way back from there. 1 defeat to fighting Allen for a WBA Intercontinental. There's roots back. My manager Adam Molly said as well. There's roots back there, but you lose to someone who's a late replacement, who you are expected to beat, and I did beat, but you're expected to really with the boxing public. If you lose there, it's a long, long road back, and it was just a lot of pressure on my family. There's a lot of stuff I got cut in the build up to this fight as well. I didn't spar for 3-4 weeks, so maybe that was why. When you don't have that sharp sparring 3-4 weeks before, your timing's a little bit off as well. So maybe that's got a bit to play with it as well. But I had 8 stitches in there, and that threw me off a bit as well. But the stress is gone now. The relief is there because I'm back in the winning column. And yeah, if that first round is it's highlighted some stuff to people, that's a good thing because I'm open for business and I'm ready to fight anyone. And God willing, I'm going to just improve all the time with Toney. And that moment of madness is gone now. So I might be getting that again.
Nice one, Johnny. Well, look, very quickly, you said it there. You're in the winning column now. What is the plan? Have you spoke to Eddie?
I spoke briefly to Eddie yesterday on text. Spoke to Toney as well and Adam. And early spring, March, April time would be nice. I just I've got the hunger to get back in the gym and keep learning with Toney. I won't enter camp obviously until after the new year, but I'm gonna, don't worry, I'm gonna eat myself to death a little bit, but I want to get back in the gym and start improving everything with Toney because one camp, it's an amount of time, but it's not a substantial amount of time. It's going to take a few fights to get rolling. So let's move on to early spring and get another one under the belt.
Johnny, you're a legend, mate. Look, from all of us here, have a great Christmas, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year, mate.
Well done, Johnny.
Appreciate it. Cheers, Darren. Cheers, Sonny. I'll speak to you soon.
Well, as you know, Sonny, I was in the beautiful Monte Carlo this weekend. What a card. We knew on paper it looks brilliant. Sometimes these cards don't deliver, but this one done exactly what it said it was going to do. It was a terrific card. Second fight on the bill was Conor Walker versus Pat McCormack. We are lucky to have the champ himself, Conor Walker, with us. I mean, you don't do things easily, do you? Like, do you do this on purpose? Do you do it just for the drama?
Mate, there's nothing easy about fighting an Olympic silver medalist. he's a good fighter. But I do believe my defence was better than it has been in recent times. You won't tell by my face, but I do bruise like a peach. But I do think I was a lot tighter. Didn't give him much, really. I'm quite happy with the performance, in all honesty. And knowing that I was up on the scorecards is also like a bonus, but not that we needed them in the end anyway. But yeah, it was a good fight. I enjoyed it. And what a place Monaco is.
Oh, some gaff in it. And do you know what is impressive as well? Like, I spoke to you a couple of days before, and you was the timer when we did the cold plunge. And it played out to exactly what you said. You said you was going to look at him in those later rounds and smile. You was going to make it nasty and horrible. But I've heard you say this word a couple of times, that you manifested this victory. You thought about it time and time again. And you must be so proud of how it's all played out.
Yeah, I've worked heavily on the mind. As I don't know if you watched the sort of the sort of little mini documentary, but I've been working with a hypnotherapist. We've been visualizing it, manifesting it, and it's I feel it is massive. It's massive for me. You can get your body in shape. We all get in shape. We all fit. But I think if you haven't got that right, nothing else will work. So yeah, I got myself in a real good place mentally, physically, and you seen that. He felt that. I was enjoying it in there. I enjoyed the build up. I enjoyed the press conference. I got in his head. It was it's just a brilliant week.
It really was. Conor, in the 12th round, he spat his gumshield out and you said something to him. I just wonder what you said.
I said, "You shithouse," because I seen him trying to spit it out before that. So I knew it was coming, and then when he did, obviously it's an age-old trick. So and I knew I had him. Then I knew I just got to sort of, and then that second wind comes, and and you see him dip and flagging. I just I get that. The second wind, and I just put it to bed.
Did you feel, was there a part in the fight, I wonder sort of what round you felt that things was going to go turning in your way?
With a lovely body shot with
Yeah.
he was round 6, but then he did manage to scrape the round. He come back out firing. He had a good round after that, but them rounds are my rounds, aren't they? You know, I looked over to him. I think it was a 10th round. I says, "These are my rounds now." But like I said, I was just breaking him down mentally and physically the whole fight. I was talking in his ear. I knew I had him from the start because he didn't have the power to hurt me. And he fought my fight. You know, he stood and stood and had a fight with me, which you don't do that with me.
What do you look? If you look at your record, so you go back to Cyrus Patterson when you really burst onto the scene. You stopped Cyrus Patterson in the 8th of a 10-rounder. You had that crack of Lewis Crocker where many thought you won. Lewis Ritson was a late one that went points, but Harry Scarf was the 11th round. Liam Taylor the 7th round, and obviously Pat McCormack the 12th and final round. There's just no quitting you at all, is there? Do you know what I mean? And what do you put this run of form down to? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know how you've ever felt, but you was never really touted early days, was you, to go on and do what you've done? But that self-belief, it is really starting to shine through.
I always knew, mate. You know, I set myself short-term goals, long-term goals, and I just keep smashing them. So I just believe in myself. You know, I believe that I'm on this earth to do something, and you know, I love the game, and I know you can't cheat the game. You know, I don't cheat the game. Look, I'm getting better, and that's the thing with boxing. You know, you're never the best. You're never gonna be the best. You just got to keep improving, polishing the edges. That's what I do. You know, if you look at since I turned pro, I've had 3 fights a year. You know, I stepped up early with a 4-0 kid. I was 4-0 and he was 4-0. Then the next one was 5-0, draw. I went back to a journeyman, then went back straight in there with a Midlands title. So my learning from early doors is paying off now. And obviously with the team I've got, I've just shown my self-belief, and obviously you know yourself how good Jamie and Nigel are. And our game plan just then, you know, we executed it to a T. So that's that.
I've got 2 questions for you. First one is, you look like you've been through the wars, but so did Nigel Travis when he stacked it. Is he all right?
I can't stop watching it, man.
It's so funny, isn't it?
He's just a rare human being, mate. Nigel is, you know, why did he even do that?
Oh, no, try going through the ropes next time, innit? The second one, mate, like
in a real realistic world, the Conor Benns of the world, the Conor Benns of this world, they're going to be looking at, you know, the massive sort of Garcia fights and whatnot. I know you want the Lewis Crocker fight next. If that wasn't next, because he's obviously going to be looking for a mega payday somewhere as well. Hopefully it is yourself, but who would you call out straight away next? If it weren't them two,
I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less. I want the biggest fights, the most money. You know, like I say, that fight there has obviously secured me a massive fight, so just gonna wait and see what comes. You know, I've proven that I don't care who I fight. I believe that. You know, I believe I am world class now. You know, you heard it from Eddie's mouth. You know, reading the comments, and I believe I'll beat anyone. I believe I do. I believe I'll beat anyone in the 147 division. So,
Have you spoke to Eddie, Conor? Has he indicated anything?
it's still early doors, and even so, it's something that I said today will change tomorrow. I know boxing, so I'm I'm enjoying the Christmas. I'm having a Christmas this year. Like I said, I haven't had Christmas in 4 years, so I'm having a Christmas dinner and I'm having a relax with the family because it's been a heavy camp. You know, my partner's been holding down the fort with my lad. She's working full time. We've got another one. She's pregnant, so I want to get back and share the load for a bit and take some stress off her. So I don't want to talk about boxing. I'm obviously talk about boxing. It's my life, but you know, talk about a fight when I'm ready to go back into camp. But until then, mate, line them up or not, I'll knock them down. I'm not really bothered.
So cruiserweight incoming then.
Nah, I'm actually going to keep my weight down.
Conor, you're a legend, mate. You've given us some unbelievable nights, and we've got plenty more to come. So, look, safe journey home. Enjoy your Christmas. Stay tuned for the Conor Walker podcast soon on First Round TV too.
Keep me in the loop, and we'll get that organised. And Darren, yeah.
All the best, Conor. Take care, mate.
Nice one. Thank you very much. See you in a bit, yeah.
Sonny, what a legend that man is. He's
a man.
He's box office. Absolute box office.
He is, yeah. Joe, I was gutted on like the Friday morning last week because I was thinking, bloody hell, I've gone McCormack all this week. Like, by the way, I get every fucking fight wrong. I know that, right? But I was thinking, I'm thinking McCormack's going to win this all week. But I don't see how I've come to that conclusion. You know what I mean? Because Walker, his pressure, his relentlessness, everything that he's got, McCormack hadn't seen before. All right, he had a great amateur career. He's had a decent pro career up to this point. But what Walker was going to bring that night was something that he hadn't seen before. And I just never felt that McCormack had the power to earn Walker's respect. This is what I was thinking on the Friday. I don't think he's got the power to earn his respect in order to keep him off him. And Walker's going to get to him eventually. And that kind of happened, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was epic. It really was. He told me a couple of days before, as I say, he said he was going to smile at him. He was going to look at him and smile at him and let him know he's in deep waters. And he'd done that, didn't he? Manifested it, as we were talking about there. Really believed that he was just far too seasoned, I think, for Pat McCormack. And yeah, the ending was a little controversial. Some people are trying to make a bit of controversy from it, you know, saying he was at the ring. It wasn't. I think it's if you're totally at the ring.
I think it makes some. I love Ben Davison, but he was trying to help him back in the ring. Can't be doing that. That was liberty.
Would you do the same though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that was bang out of order. You can't be doing that. He literally pushed his back up, and I thought, come on, Ben, you know the rules, man.
It was just, let's have a look at it. Look at this ending. It's just unbelievable. He did it against Harry Scarf, as we say. You know, some late finishes. You can never write him off.
Having said that, McCormack was winning, wasn't he? Did you think he was?
Do you know what? I've tried not to. I don't always score round by round.
Yeah, look at Ben now. Look. Oh, come on. You can't be doing that, man.
He's gone, isn't he? Then he's sort of holding his arm, though. Nigel Travis.
Yeah.
Can you go back to that a little bit? Can you rewind it a tad? Watch Nigel Travis come in the ring. And again, a little bit more. Ready? Watch this. Whoops. But look what it means to him and the team. Look at what they've done for Conor Walker and his career. I mean, look, he's done it all himself, but, you know, he made some big sacrifices.
Who was winning? So,
look, I felt it was very, very close. I think they thought that Conor Walker, well, two of the judges had Conor Walker, didn't they? 3 rounds up.
Yeah.
There was one judge, Pat McCormack, by a round. I may have been somewhere in between. Do you know what I mean? I knew it was a round that Conor Walker needed to win. That was my gut. But thankfully, I'm not a judge.
I'm certainly no genius at judging fights, but I just thought McCormack was 1 up or so.
Yeah.
And I was very
judge said that.
I was surprised to see 2 of them had Walker up.
Yeah.
But
a lot were taking on
now.
the gloves. Then I think recently a lot's been made of aggression. I feel like I couldn't tell you fights in particular, but some fights that I thought the other guys won, they favoured the aggressor. I think for me as well, I tend to like the boxer. I think because maybe that's how I thought. So subconsciously, I think of the boxer. I don't know, but I'll tell you what a cracking fight. And another fight on that undercard, we'll get to Johnny Fisher in a minute, but another fight was Beatrice Ferreira defending her IBF title versus Elif Turhan from Turkey.
Yeah. Big up our producer Josh. He said, we know who does the hoovering in her household. Fucking hell, she is a beast, man.
Monster. Absolute monster.
She could single-handedly reignite women's boxing from when, you know, the Katie Taylors and the Serranos move on. Because you don't, with all due respect, you don't have to see what she did that night in the women's game, do you?
No. No, and you got to remember who she's beaten there. A world champion, former Olympian. That was Ferreira's 5th defense of that title, I believe. First defense was last year of that title in Monte Carlo. I mean, it was frightening. The first right hand that landed wasn't scored a knockdown. Well, that was definitely a knockdown.
I know, yeah. There was a lot of that night, by the way.
Like it was nuts. And then after sort of the end of round 2, then you felt Ferreira was getting into it. She was sharp with her feet, moving in and out, and was looking classy. But oh no, like she's run out of ideas now, Turhan.
She's wilder, isn't she? She's a female.
Yeah,
wilder.
she is.
I mean, look, she is going to come unstuck. I thought Beatrice could potentially, like technical ability wise, could actually beat her that way. But she is going to come unstuck because there is going to be someone out there with a technical boxing ability that is just going to have her throwing missing air all night. You know what I mean? So, but the punches come from back of her fucking legs.
It's like a cricket fast bowler. Oh. Look at the eyes of Ferreira when this.
Lunatic, ain't she?
There's a shot here. Look at the eyes. Oh. I said this on the broadcast. Other than, fulfilling a dream of becoming a world champion, she's very lucky that she's got that world title now because she's got something that other fighters want. Because otherwise, who's going to go near her?
I know.
Do you think Caroline Dubois watching that thinking, I'll have a piece of Turhan?
No, she's, basically love it. We're really excited for more of her to come.
So we spoke to Johnny Fisher earlier. Gets the job done against Ivan Balaz. Blimey. It was it wasn't all one-way traffic early for the Romford Ball, was it?
No, it certainly weren't. And look, we love Johnny. I mean, said it to him earlier, like, he's not an idiot. He knows it when he turns on social media off the back of that performance. Everyone's going to be on him, from pundits to just fans in general. And the first round was bad.
Well, it was one-way traffic, but coming his way.
It was bad. And it almost like, considering he's polished off people of that ilk before, or what looked to be that ilk before the Dave Allen fight.
A bit dodgy, that.
It almost looked like he did sort of was, he'd gone backwards almost. That's kind of what it looked like in that first round. But he did get it. He did bring it back, and when all that nervous energy left him, he looked like he got into a bit more of a rhythm. And then the finish was what the finish was. Look, Johnny knows what he is. He's never talked about world titles. He's always talked about British titles and English titles. And look, again, he probably is going to struggle now, looking on with the TKVs of the world, the Adelaides, the Fraser Clarks. They're going to be difficult fights for him off the back of that. They really are. However, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. The man's entertaining. He's honest. He knows what he is. But the best thing about him is he's got so much heart, and he will not bowl over, and he will go to the very end. So I've got him all the credit in the world for him.
But this is that opening round where it went horribly wrong for Johnny. He was caught when he ran the side of the head or on top of the head.
How's that not a knockdown, by the way?
The referee having none of it. But you look at the legs, completely gone. And like he said, they're weird, those ones, when you get hit on the temple. You know exactly where you are, but your legs just won't have it. And I'll tell you what, this is his rugby background here. Just grabbing hold, pushing on Balaz, stopping any danger coming his way, just nullifying the threat of Balaz. Look, he's grabbing hold of him. Look, you got to do what you got to do to survive. This is the ref's job here, to warn or take points off. But fair play to Johnny, because he come out in the second round, didn't he? And the legs still weren't there. But see if we can get to the ending. He started to regroup, didn't he? The shots were, were more compact. He weren't loading up as much. The tank of Balaz, although he'd fought 3 weeks before, it looked empty. And you said, you can't question his heart and desire, his will to win. And he's ticking boxes.
I mean, he's got all the heart in the world, Johnny, but that Balaz hasn't. has he? Clearly.
No. Nah. That Thomas Salek fight that he mentions, Ballas, I remember watching that, doing my prep, because we had Herbert, didn't we, as the original opponent. Herbert.
He fucking wishes he'd have had Herbert now.
And I see that Thomas Salek fight with Ivan Ballas, and he puts his flurry of shots together and knocks him out of a right uppercut. And I thought, blimey, 7-0, 5 knockouts.
Yeah.
Are they sure?
No,
but look, he got the job done. And I like that. Who knows where he's going to go? But let's just enjoy it. Not everyone's going to win a world title.
No.
Not everyone's going to win a British title. But he's popular. People like him. He's a great lad, as you see there. And just enjoy the journey for as long as it lasts.
Look, Johnny's got a ceiling, and he knows he's got a ceiling. And that may be British title. It may be lower than that, but it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just a big fat fan, and I want to see boxers go in there and give it their all, show the heart and the will to win, and that's what he does. I don't really care technical ability-wise. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But look, Johnny reminds me of a David Price. People say that's a bad thing. You know, make of it what you will. At the end of the day, I used to do bits and pieces with Joe Joyce, working-wise, and he said, look, Johnny is... a fucking nightmare. He hits so hard. He said he cracks so hard, and you know we all know how good Joe Joyce's chin was back in the day. So for him to say he cracks hard, that means a lot. So he's still got that equaliser. He's still got that will to win. And look, it's going to be exciting, whatever happens.
Yeah, look, value for money doesn't mean you got to win a world title. And Johnny Fisher's value for money. Also on the card in Monte Carlo, the main event, Shabazz Massoud versus Peter McGrath, was a brilliant fight. I think it was better than many thought it would be. It was a great fight. He come out of the traps, Peter McGrath, grabbed the fight by the scruff of the neck. But I think what was decisive for Shabazz Massoud getting the win was the work that he did in a big portion of the middle rounds. He just regrouped. He didn't give up as much space, did he? He really got those quick hands into play. The left hand, the straight left counter from the southpaw stance from Massoud was class. And although Peter McGrath can be so proud of himself, the way he finished it, probably definitely won the 11th. The 12th, I'm not too sure. Probably maybe give it to McGrath.
Let him back into it.
Yeah, he did. But look, he's a classy operator, McGrath. And Shabazz, rightly so, got his arm raised, and some exciting times ahead for those. But it was a cracking card in Monte Carlo. I hope you enjoyed it.
As always, Darren, this is the fans' show, so they have had their say. And I'm assuming I haven't heard these yet, so I'm assuming these are going to be on Monaco and bits and pieces going on in the boxing world. So let's go forward with this one. This is Ryan.
Proper. So Johnny Fisher's chin, that needs to be questioned, if I'm honest. Have you seen it? Like, he takes nothing on the chin and he's gone. I don't think he's meant for this game. I think he needs to get his money and get out of there quick.
Heavyweight boxing.
He won't be the only one to say that, yeah.
Heavyweight boxing, you get caught in the right place, you can go. I don't think it was a shot to the chin. It was sort of round the back of the side of the head or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm saying back of the head. I'm not saying it was a legal blow. It was a legal blow, not an illegal blow, sorry. But those ones, I'm telling you, around the side of the ear, on top of the head, they're horrible. I've not watched it properly, so I don't know where the shot landed. But I like Johnny. I'm just sticking up for him.
Yeah, no, and I want to as well. Look, and he did look a bit vulnerable, didn't he? He just did. But as you say, it is heavyweight boxing. You take one on the chin, you're going to feel it no matter who you are. Some more so than others, I get that. But yeah, look, hopefully it was just an all-round cock-up, that first round. Just an all-round cock-up. Everything that could go wrong, all the nervous energy, all the, the way, just, it was all a complete balls up, and he got through it, and he's going on from now. And hopefully he comes in a bit more calmer next time. And because you saw how much he was moving around the ring and that, it almost looked forced. This is from Clark.
My takeaway from the weekend is that questions need to start being asked about Team GB boxing and the level of Team GB boxers. Because if we look at it over the last few weeks, Fraser Clark, GB's top heavyweight for years, he's lost again, is unsuccessful in 3 British title attempts. And then we look at Peter McGrail as well. I'd argue he lost his fight as well on the Usyk Fury rematch undercard last year. So if you add that on to his 2 official losses, that's 3 losses before he's even reached world title level. And then you add in people like Anthony Fowler, who've had really unsuccessful careers compared to the promise they showed in the amateurs. Is the GB setup really as strong as we think it is? That's my question to you.
You're the one to answer
Well,
that.
first off,
Was you in it? You was in it, weren't you?
in what? It wasn't the GB then. It was when you went to the Olympics. I didn't qualify for the Olympics. So when I went in the Worlds, the Europeans and the Commonwealths, it was you represented England. But I'm not too sure. Look, it comes in waves. You're going to get talent. There's going to be tournaments when you medal, and there's going to be tournaments when you don't. You know, I think we're consistently trying to improve, and maybe that's where the criticism is. We're not improving, although I think, though we may have not medaled as much as we'd like to, when you compare ourselves to the Cubans and Russians, etc. And I've got to remember, excuse me, I'm a bit hazy, and my knowledge of amateur boxing isn't as strong as it used to be. But when you look at those nations who're churning out champions all the time, they're very hard to replicate. But what I will say is although it's boxing, they're different codes of the sport. So not necessarily are all medalists in whatever tournament it's going to be are going to go on to win world titles.
Yeah.
Like,
I understand how he's got to that point because, as you say, a few of them have lost recently and, you know, they haven't reached their full potential. And then you've got Fabio Wardley, who's done none of that stuff and just gone and blasted everyone away. Oh, he's had problems, don't get me wrong, but he's blasted everyone away, essentially. So, yeah, I get it.
What I've said on this, whilst you mentioned Fabio Wardley, although it's a massive plus, I think, having that amateur pedigree, because, you know, you get the fundamentals spot on. But sometimes, and I think I may have mentioned this to you and I may have said it on it, sometimes when you've been taught correctly, you are told sometimes to be wary, obviously, of what's coming back. So if you do overcommit with a shot, you're vulnerable to then get countered.
Yeah.
Fabio Wardley hasn't had that. So he just lets full leather fly without, you know, with total disregard of what's coming back. So although, you know, it's dangerous because you could get countered, he also gets that tremendous power in every single shot he throws. So
it's a blessing and a curse.
Of course it is.
Some people
Of course
get
it is.
overly technical and some people are just born to fight. Thank you for your question, Clark. One more. Let's have a go on Jimmy.
Big up Sean McComb, local boy, madman. Great win. He just looked unbelievable. Elif Turhan, she's incredible. She's so exciting. I got to see her in the SSC in March knocking out Shauna Brown. It was stunning. But the big one, Conor Walker. Man, Walker, what an unbelievable fighter he is. So overlooked. Anybody I asked had Pat McCormack beating him easy, knocking him out and all. I personally favoured Walker for the fight. I thought he would take it late, which he did. My question is, he called out Crocker for the rematch. I personally think he beat Crocker in their fight, but it was still a close fight and a great name for Crocker to have on his resume. But put Walker in with Conor Benn, what happens? I honestly think he's all wrong for Conor Benn, and I don't think Conor Benn would go near him. Not because of the money, because, you know, or the name, but I just don't think he would go near him. Like, he hasn't really gone anywhere near the domestic scene. But in general, what a card.
Yeah, massively agree with him there. What a card. It was so good. We haven't not mentioned Sean McComb, beat Mikhailov from Monaco, was, you know, really sort of touted over there to do big things, although Monaco's not known as a hotbed of boxing. The Prince, I think, was a fan, and they picked Sean McComb, which is crazy. But yeah, what a card. It was tremendous. Would Conor Benn go near Conor Walker?
No.
I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so, and it's not saying he wouldn't fight him. Can you imagine the difference in purse for Conor Benn fighting Ryan Garcia for the WBC title or fighting Conor Walker? And that's going to be the big thing. And what's on the line for Conor Benn? Conor Benn will fight anyone. I've no doubt about it. But only if it's moving him in the right direction.
Yeah, he won't go near him. He won't go near Conor for the money that Conor's bringing to the table. No disrespect to him at all, but he's just not as big a name as a Garcia. So yes, Conor Benn all day long wants Ryan Garcia, hoping he beats Barrios and hoping the world title's on the line. So yeah, he ain't going to get a look in. But I agree. I think Conor Walker is a is just a nightmare for Conor Benn. And he's right. Like, Conor Benn, I know he's just beat Eubank. It's a very good win. Some will say, you know, it wasn't the right Eubank, whatever. But he did bypass that domestic scene. Conor Walker has just done everything in the domestic scene now, hasn't he, really? So Conor Walker's experience in that regard is a long way ahead of Benn's. And the fight, it's carnage, the fight, because they almost fight quite similar, don't they? Like, just both pressure fighters. But I think that's a nightmare for Conor Benn.
I love the fight. I'd love to see it, because
Yeah.
Conor Walker, Lewis Crocker was brilliant. Look what Crocker's gone on to do. Whether you thought he beat Donovan or not, doesn't matter. He's a world champion. So it shows the level. Although Conor Walker's gone through the domestic route, one of the domestic fights was against Lewis Crocker, who's now a world champion. So it shows the level of Conor Walker. So he's no mug. He's a proper fighter. But stylistically, I think, like you say, it would gel nicely.
Conor Walker would beat that version of Garcia that went in against Rowley, for me. He's going to give Lewis Crocker a seriously hard fight once again. That'll be nip and tuck. But to be honest, like, the way Lewis Crocker's performed in the last couple of fights, I'd favour Conor Walker every day, especially off of that on the weekend. So, he's coming for all the smoke, Conor Walker, and he's going to be a nightmare for anyone. Love him.
Well, thanks for joining us. Remember, we'll be back next Monday for episode 5. Sonny?
Yes, please do like and subscribe and all that bollocks. And make sure you keep throwing in your comments. Please do comment on the fights and your opinions and whatnot, and keep on digging out Barker for his commentary. We totally understand that. That's brilliant. And me. So, yes, do all that stuff. That's brilliant. You're the best. Thank you, guys.